Good Sunday morning. My name is Jaden Jefferson, and welcome to this week's Community Focus. Gun violence and the upcoming August primary are two big things we've been paying attention to here in the state of Ohio, across the country. And joining me to talk about two of these things are Cerssandra McPherson. She is the Toledo City Councilwoman at large. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you just held a press conference recently to talk about that August primary from a Democrat's perspective about what's going on. So give people an idea of why you guys are frustrated about this primary.
This primary has been a fiasco. Redistricting, trying to get the maps, having to go all the way to the Ohio Supreme Court to get these maps out, and it has been very frustrating for a lot of people, and especially for the citizens, because even now that it is the primary and this is the beginning of early vote, people are still confused about how it's going to go and who are we actually voting for. But I do want to encourage the voters to not be discouraged and not vote. We have to exercise our right to vote. I believe the Republicans' way of getting us frustrated will then say to a lot of people, I'm not even going to bother and I'm not going to vote. And then that's where the problem is.
The Ohio Redistricting Commission, when they were trying to figure out how these new maps would look to get ready for this election, they didn't make the deadline. They were threatened to be held in contempt for that and for all the delays that were caused. And now they ended up with no accountability and now maps that a lot of people don't agree with. So what do you think is going to be, what's going to have to happen to prevent this from happening again next time around if there's no accountability for exactly that?
The no accountability issue is big, and it will continue to be big because we have to hold those that are in charge accountable for what they are doing. And then if they are not doing their job as it should be, then we need to get them out. And accountability is key. Where do we go from here? Right now, really not for sure. Just want to get through the primary, early vote, primary, two primaries, and work on it as we go. But again, not allowing the negative overshadow the positive. What is important? What is really important? It is important that we show all that we will not be deprived of our vote. We will get out and vote no matter what. You cannot stop that. And that's where we have to be at. You know, I guess we got to go back to some of our heritage. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Old spiritual. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. And that's the that's what we have to have. Not gonna be turned around. We're gonna get out here. We're gonna vote. We're gonna encourage everyone to vote. And we're gonna make this thing happen in spite of the Republicans trying to block our vote.
Gun violence, women's rights, environmental issues, just some of the many issues that voters are going to be voting for. They're going to be considering those things when they head out to the polls. So how do you think that's going to be reflected in who wins and who loses during this primary?
Well, if women's rights, we have just taken a step back. It's like we've gone back 50 years, you know, women's rights, women's right to choose, women's right to make their own decision about their body. And here we are, 2022, and we've stepped back. So now, yeah, what do? We have to press. We have to press. All of the issues that are at hand right now, if we don't press, it could set us back 50, 60 years. I mean, if they overturn women's rights, what's next? You know, education versus Brown, right to marry who you want to marry, the right to live where you choose to live, the right to vote. I mean, this is where we are right now. So it is imperative that we exercise our rights to vote and that we get those that are in charge now, that are pressing to make or overturn some of these decisions, that we get them out of office. That's what's up right now. Gun violence. What can I say, Jaden? We are not just Toledo, but all over the world. And now anybody can buy a gun. Everybody can carry. Wild, Wild West. And everybody shouldn't have a gun. Now, they want teachers to carry guns. No, we are not the police. And I wouldn't carry a gun in my classroom. It is so disheartening, the times that we are in right now. But again, we have to press and we have to stay positive. And the biggest thing that I would say is that we invest in our young people, that we invest everything in our young people, because they're the ones that's going to have to turn this thing around, especially with the gun violence, because most of the gun violence is young people. We've lost babies, we've lost teenagers, we just lost young people over the weekend. Senseless gun violence, not just here, Chicago, Texas, and these massive shootings. This is unheard of in our time. So we have to pray and keep the faith and believe that God will turn this thing around. But as the leaders, we have some tough decisions that we've got to make just here in the city of Toledo. We've got to get a handle on this thing. And it's going to take all of us, not just the police department. It's going to take all of us. And it's going to take the leadership and the community. We've got to take back our neighborhoods, and we've got to start holding our parents accountable. Parents got to hold their children accountable. And that's how we can change it around.
That's for sure. And local government is limited in what it can do when it comes to addressing issues like gun violence. Of course, women's rights as well, and protecting those for people that are in favor of that. So really a lot of challenges that are facing our state, our city, our nation in these coming days and weeks, and ones that we're already facing. So Toledo City Councilwoman at Large, Cerssandra McPherson, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Jaden. And again, I am so proud of you. You do excellent work for the city of Toledo, and we are blessed to have you.